Thank you so much for joining us. Like Ms. Head said, we do want to respect your time, and we do want to and be thorough as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Bomber. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, as Ms. has said, we do want to take the next few minutes to talk about registration. Right now, the school district has started its district-wide registration campaign, and we are encouraging all of our families to register their child as soon as possible. And we're asking this from our parents for a few reasons. It's important to register your child um, as soon as possible, not just because it helps us for our planning purposes, but I think more importantly, it allows your child to secure their seat at their neighborhood school, and it allows your child to really, especially your child that attends the middle school or high school campuses, to get the classes that they want for next year. And so we really do want you, when you're able and as soon as possible, to register your child. Um, for this evening's agenda, we want to do a few things. We're going to talk about registration, and we certainly want to answer any questions that you may have. And so at any point during the session, if you would like to unmute yourself to ask the question, or if in the chat feature, if you do want to ask your question there, we will gladly make some time and address those questions. So we want to make sure we create a space for conversation and a space for question asking. And so besides the questions that you may have as parents, the other thing that we actually want to do is we actually want to show you a very quick registration video. It is all about 8 minutes long, and it basically walks you through the process of how to register your child for next school year. After we do that, we will answer your questions and then also address some commonly asked questions about registration that we field here at the registration office. Every day we get lots of questions, and they are common questions, and so we want to make sure that we take time to address them. So let's get started with, if there are no questions, and I don't see any quite yet, that's okay. What you want to do, we're going to go to the website, to our district website at saisd.net. And as we go to the website, we're going to go to our department website, which is the Office of Access and Enrollment Services. And once you go to the department website, if you scroll down just a little bit, and to your left, you will see several entries. And one of those entries is registration videos. And if you click on the registration videos quick link, you will see 2 registration videos that we provided for parents. And so we click on the quick link real quick, and you will see that there is an English video and there is a Spanish video. And what you can do is you can go ahead and enlarge the video screen, and then you can press play. And we're going to do that right now.
Greetings,
So that we
parents.
can see the
In
video.
this video, we will teach you how to register your student in our frontline registration system. To access the registration page, go to our home site, www.saisd.net, and click on Enroll Now in the upper right-hand corner. This will take you to our registration page. If you're a current family, enter your Frontline Parent Portal username and password to begin. If you're a new family and need to create an account, click Register New User, enter your information, and follow the instructions to enter your username and password. If you're unsure, call our enrollment office at 210-554-2660 and we'll help you out. Once you have your username and password, enter it and click Login. When you first get into the account, click on the arrow to select the student you wish to register. If you're a new family, click Create New Student to enter your student's information. Select your student, then click Next. On the first screen, please verify your student's information, their grade, and what school that they'll be going to. If you would like to request a transfer, click Request to Change School to enter the transfer window. Once the information is verified, click Next. On the next screen, please verify the parent-guardian contact information. You can remove guardians or add guardians as needed. If you're a current family that needs to change their address and update it, you may enter it at this time. Please remember to also include an updated proof of residency in the Upload Documents section. Click Next. On the following screen, you will see your emergency contacts listed for your student. If you're a new family, enter your emergency contacts here. You can delete or add contacts as needed. Once you've finished with this information, click Next. On the Student Health Inventory screen, please mark all the necessary fields that pertain to your student. Add notes and include your signature. Once the information is entered, click Next. On the next screen, please confirm that this is indeed the school for which you'd like to complete your registration. If you're submitting a transfer request, it will stop you at this time to let you know that the district is going to process your request, then contact you when it's time for you to finish completing your registration. If your address has changed and you haven't updated yet, please go back to section 4, the parent-guardian contacts, and update your address. Click Next. In this section, please indicate if you would like to restrict sharing your information. If you're okay with the permissions to share information with military recruiters, to share for the yearbook, to be photographed and shared on Facebook or on websites. If you're also okay with using third-party softwares or participating with district technology, leave the boxes blank. If you'd like to restrict certain access, check the box to which you'd like to restrict your information. Click Next. Under Student Forms, if you need to complete a form, it will say Required next to that button. Click Open Form to access the form, and then answer all fields in yellow. Enter your parent signature and date. And click Submit. Once you've submitted the form and completed, it will change to complete. Open each one and answer the information as needed and click Submit. Click Open Form, answer the information that's required, and click Submit. If you try to submit without entering all the information, the fields will be directed for you to fill. Again, click on any form that's required to open, answer the information, by clicking on each arrow and selecting the appropriate response. If you have any questions or concerns about any of your answers, you may contact at your school at any time for assistance. You may also contact the enrollment office at 210-554-2660 to help. Once all forms are in completed status, you may click Next. If you do try to submit without completing all required forms, please know that the system will not let you go on until all forms are completed. Click Open Form, answer all necessary fields, and click Submit. All forms are now in green and complete. Click Next. In this next section, these are forms that regarding the rules associated with our district or your school. Please click Download to access the forms. Make sure that it was downloaded to your system, and then click that you acknowledge that you received the document. Click for each one. Again, verify you received it in your system, and acknowledge that you received, verify those downloaded, and then click the box to verify that you received. You will not be able to acknowledge unless you click the download button. For questions, you may contact your school at any time. Click Next. When you're ready to upload your documents, click the down arrow and select the type of document you would like to upload. Then click Choose File, select the appropriate file, click Open, and then add the document. If you are registering via your phone, it will open up to access your photo library or allow you to take a picture of your document at that moment and then be able to upload. Once you have the documents that you need in the system, you may click Submit. Hooray! You're almost done. The school will review your information and follow up if needed. Bring your documents to the school if you're unable to upload in Frontline. And don't worry, if you can't have your documents uploaded or if you need further assistance, you will still be able to submit without having your documents at the ready. Once you're ready, click Confirm Enrollment, review your information and click Next. Confirm enrollment, review that this information is correct, and click Next. It will then take you back to the home screen, and when you click the down arrow, you will see a check mark next to your student's name. That is the indication that you have indeed completed your registration. If you have any further questions, please call your school or call the SAISD Enrollment Office at 210-554-2660. Thank you very much, and we're so excited to have you part of our SAISD family.
So that was our parent tutorial video. It can be found on our website, and we have included it in our chat function. And so part of what we're going to do right now is make time for questions that participants may have. And we have our resident registration expert, Dr. Balmer, who can answer any question related to registration. And it looks like there might be a question in the chat. Or Ms. Singh, do you have a question for us?
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am, please share. Let's see.
I'm sorry, Ms. Singh, it looks like you muted yourself. So if you'd like to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, I had a question. When I was doing my son's enrollment, I had to change the school because he had applied for like one of the other high schools, the CASMED high school.
Mm-hmm.
So the school that he would normally be going to, I had to put a request for that one.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good day. And they said that like once we accept the offer, then we have to do the enrollment separate for that school. So it wouldn't let me complete the application. Like once I chose the school, it said that we would be notified within like 5 business days, I guess, from the school to make sure everything went through okay. It didn't let me complete like the whole thing.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. And so actually, we are going to be adjusting that messaging basically within 2 days after you submit that request. If it is for an accepted choice school, we would have automatically approved it. You can go in and you'll be able to register your kiddo, because then the choice school should appear in your school drop down. Do you remember when you submitted that request?
It was a couple of days ago, maybe like 2 days ago.
Oh, perfect. I would definitely say go in and check to see if it has now appeared. If not, maybe give us to the end of the day today, because our office does automatically approve those. All we have to do is double check that there is an accepted status in Schoolment, and then we will automatically open that up for you. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you for the question. Dr. Bomber, should we address some of the most commonly asked questions that our office addresses on a daily basis?
Absolutely. I think that would be perfect.
Okay, for sure, for sure. Here's a question that we frequently are asked at the office. What do I do if I don't have a frontline account or don't know my login or password?
So if you don't have a frontline account and you don't know, or you don't know your login and password and you are a current family, there are a couple steps that you can do. One, you can contact your school. There's a FACE specialist that can help you. There's also the data clerk, the registrar. Each campus typically has an enrollment team of folks that can definitely help with either reset your username password if you forgot either of those, or to help set up your username password. And that same username password will be what you use for your parent portal to be able to see your students' attendance and grades and all that. And it's also what you're going to use to do the registration as well. If you're a brand new family, then you can actually just go straight to our registration website. The registration page is www.saisd.net/register. And then you would click on register as a new family on the bottom left-hand side, and then you'll be able to create your account that way.
Thank you, Dr. Bomber. Here's another question that we typically get. I know I have to provide a proof of residency when I register. What do I do if I don't have a light or water bill in my name?
So we actually have a couple of different ways that you can provide proof of residency. If you're, for example, leasing from a different person or living in someone else's home, you can submit a letter stating your living situation in which you name your landlord or the person that you're living with, and then you both sign it with the date, submit that to the school along with the utility bill in the homeowner's name. There's also a form that you can get from the school if you're not sure what to put on the letter. You can ask the school for the form. And again, it will just require the signatures and the date. If you could possibly get it notarized, that would be great. But if you can't, because we know that right now with the COVID situation, it's tough to get some of these services, you can just provide that signature form to the school, again, with the utility bill in the homeowner's name. Now, there are also times where you can't get a signature, or perhaps the landlord is unavailable or the leasing office is unavailable. The school can also conduct a home visit to verify that you do live at the home. And then there's a letter that they will use as the proof of residency. We can even do a phone verification with the landlord, because we know sometimes that landlords are difficult to reach because sometimes they don't even live in the state. We can do a phone verification with the landlord as well. And then the school can then submit a document to use that as proof of residency. So if you feel like you're stuck on in any way about that, all you have to do is contact the school. We will help you think of ways. And if you are in a homeless type of situation and qualify as McKinney-Vento, then we, as long as we have identified you as that, then you don't even have to worry about the proof of residency.
Here's another question. Do I have to upload any documents when I register my child?
We would love for you to upload your documents. At the very least, we're asking every family to every year provide an updated proof of residency. And then if you're new students, then there are additional documents like a birth certificate, immunization record, and a photo ID. We would love it if you could do it at the time of registration. But we also know that sometimes you don't have the documents on hand, or sometimes it's kind of hard to know how to upload it. So if you can't upload it into the system itself, you can always bring it to your school, or you can also contact the enrollment office for alternate ways to provide the documentation, and then we assist with uploading as well. And we will provide the enrollment office contact information at the end of this session, so not to worry.
Another question. How do I know if I have completed my child's registration successfully?
So with our new system in Frontline, the way that you know that you've completed your registration is after it's done and you've hit submit and confirm, it then brings you back to the original screen, the My Students screen. And when you click on the drop down and see your students' names, now there'll be a check mark next to your kid's name. And that check mark is the indication that you have successfully completed the registration.
So then a follow-up question would be, do parents receive some kind of notification that they've completed their child's registration, whether
So
through
with
email or through text?
With the frontline system, you actually do not get an automated notice. We used to have that with our previous registration system, but with this new one, there is not. So that check mark is what serves as the verification. But if you really just want to make doubly sure, you can always call your school and they can check also that it was completed, or you can also call the enrollment office and we can also check to see that it was completed.
Mhm. And can parents use their Schoolment login information, like their login, their password, and their Schoolment information to log into Frontline?
This is a great question, Jake. So actually, the answer to that is no. Schoolment and Frontline are two completely separate platforms. And so you would have to create your username and password for Frontline. If you wanted to use your same information from Schoolment, then you would have to enter that into Frontline to set it up. But otherwise, it is not an automatic thing. You would have to set it up in that particular way.
Mhm.
The other question that we actually get related to that, I will say, is that because we've been doing so much online learning all year with the students, that students all have a username and password to get into the
Mhm.
system.
Mhm.
And so parents, it is not the same. You cannot use your students' login information to access the registration account. It has to be a parent access and not a student access.
Mhm. Right. Dr. Bomber, what do parents do if they successfully log into Frontline, but for whatever reason, they actually don't see their child's name appear in the system?
Yes. So this has happened a couple of times. And what it means is that we have to tie in the parents to the right accounts, because sometimes the parents' information is entered slightly differently. Like maybe in one place it had the middle initial and in one place it didn't. And so the system didn't tie them together. All you have to do is notify your school, or you can call the enrollment office and say, all of my students are not appearing on my account, and we can help find where the students are and make sure that they are all entering under the same under the correct account for you. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. And maybe ask one last question. And this is a question related to parents who want to register their pre-K students. And so the question we often get is, how do I add my new pre-K student to my account?
So actually adding any new student, if you're an existing family, you would go to the My Student screen, click on the drop-down arrow, and then select Create New Student. Now, what we have found, and this is a great thing, is that we have students who were with the district previously, but haven't been with us for a couple of years, but are now coming back. And so they are trying to create their accounts as a new family, and the system's stopping them because we already have a record of them. When you see that, you can go ahead and stop and just call our enrollment office directly. What we will do then is reactivate the student account that you had when you were with us previously, tie it into your parent portal information, and then you'll be able to see your student and register. So at any point, if you do just get stuck, all you have to do is reach out to us and we will help. And speaking of that, I'm actually going to share our contact information right now too, because I know we kept saying, you can contact us, you can contact us. And so I actually wanted to show you our contact information. And so on the screen, you'll see that you can either contact the school or contact the enrollment office at 210-554-2660. Our email is enroll@saisd.net. And we also have texting, and you can text us at 210-309-3259. And we are a bilingual department, so you can call us for help in English or Spanish to any of those ways, and we will definitely be able to help you out.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Balmer. And thank you so much, families, for taking time to visit with us, to ask your questions, and to listen to the most frequently asked questions here at our department.